Been up for about an hour. And I just want to talk about this. Upon review of what I had to say yesterday, that's it. The issue that I have is that I'm always trying to look to appease other people. I'm always trying to look to find the good in it, right? But the truth of the matter is, they shouldn't have been here. If I wasn't informed, regardless of, and I didn't keep up, it's true, I didn't keep up my part of the bargain. And it has nothing to do with the lawn care. The lawn was fine in the front, the back did need some work, right? And I've done that yesterday. But when I thought about it, and I went back and thought about it, because I always want to appease and say, "Well, I didn't hold up my part of the bargain." But they came out here. I told them not to cut down a whole tree. They cut it down to the base, all the way down to the base, and that left me open. And I like my privacy, and then I don't like people trespassing. So there's probably a particular reason that that happened, because this happened the same time last year when there was another reason that this happened, right? So it took me, I said 3 hours in my recording yesterday, but it took me 7 hours. It took me from, like I said, I started messing with the 12:30. They got out of the picture probably about quarter till two to 7:30 in the evening. I was working on having to revamp everything to get my privacy in place. I was working on, making sure everything was ordered there. And then I went to the backyard and, trimmed the backyard up. So, I really don't appreciate that, and very just, and what I do appreciate, just because somebody gives you a little piece of something good, like the guy fixed my pole trimmer, but he went down to cut down the tree all the way like that. And like I said, if you're looking from a person to person thing, somebody, this is all done without me. So somebody told him to do that, and that's what he did, right? They didn't probably tell him to do all of that, but his thing was he was trying to make money, right? So if he says, "Oh, I did all this work, oh, I cut all this stuff down," and then there's a big trees, he didn't have to do that. He cut it all the way down so that he could, put a higher bill on it. And then once he put a higher bill on it, it's justified because you see all these trees in the front. Now he cut the tree down to the road. Nobody asked him to do that. He didn't have to do that because there wasn't anything to do. And then I heard him say, he went on to say, um, he went on to say, "Oh yeah, there was a lot out here, whatever." All he did was cut down those two trees. That's all he did. That's all he did. And the thing about it is that the person that requested that work, they don't never do it before or after. Just like that's why when the heating and the cooling system wasn't working, they didn't do it before and after. That's why the water was coming up through the floor. So, and then on top of that, that makes me look bad because it looks like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, in regards to that. And that's not true. And then the other comment, and then looking at Charleston White, again, this is what he taught me. Um, he said, how when he goes to these places, he pretends like he's joking and he doesn't have a problem with shit. And he does. I don't pretend. I tell him I have a problem with it. And then, and maybe that's Black people talk. Like I said, I wasn't raised primarily by my Black parents, so I don't know. And that's probably how it is, because I guess I've been told by Black folks that Black folks do things to get around things, right? And so, probably he was saying that shit to set the tone that I wasn't doing anything. And that's not true at all. So now I'm kind of pissed off. And I remember when I was younger, I worked at this place in Virginia, and there was a girl that worked with me that kind of looked like Tyra Banks. And she had the same mindset as me, where you don't catch things because when you're talking to people, you're always expecting the best because that's how you were raised, expect the best, right? But then, you always, and then being raised in the church, you always try to look for, the good, or, give people the benefit of the doubt. But then afterwards, you realize, and like I said, if I hadn't seen Charleston White, I wouldn't know how guileful people can be, and sometimes it's necessary, but yeah. And so when I heard this Black man, revisiting that communication, when I heard this Black man say, "Oh, you wasn't doing anything anyway," and then also with the employment thing, same thing, he wasn't doing anything anyway, which I was, but I didn't have the energy to fight it because I didn't even want to be out there to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Fucked up my whole Saturday. I had a whole shit of stuff that I had to do, so that I could take care of what I needed to take care of. And the whole rest of Saturday was gone. Because like I said, by the time I finished, it was 7:30. It took me an hour to decompress, right? And then I hadn't realized I hadn't even eaten all day. So I'm food prepping 9:30, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, I get a little bit to eat. What did I have? Some potatoes again. and a little bit of rice with, chicken soup or whatever, right? And and then that was the end of the night. I didn't have an opportunity to finish working on what the fuck I was working on. you know so there's laws and stuff for a reason. Now the law people, and this is what kills me about the law, the people that make these laws, they don't even fucking follow the laws. People that make the laws at work, they don't follow the laws at work, right? And so the thing about the employment situation, same thing. you know I told y'all all the stuff I went through with that, and I'm still finishing up on that I went through with that. And then I'm just like, what is this situation? So I'm calling around all this. And then she said, oh, it wasn't a drug test that was holding back. That was the only thing that they said. And that's what she said. She tried to make it something different. And when I asked specifically, then what's going on? Then instead of that, she's telling me, oh, you can keep this and keep that. I didn't ask, and then I don't even trust that because she's so dishonest. And so I have to document all of that. And so I'm so pissed. It's like, don't, like Judge Judy used to say, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. And so, you're making it nice, like you're doing these things that you're doing, you know, if that's what's happening is nice. But then the way that you are and the way that you manipulate your words, you can turn around and say that something different happened. And that's not the kind of relationship I want to have with people. And so, um, and it's no telling how she's communicating it otherwise. So all of these things, I don't like it, and it needs to make me angry. When I was on TikTok, I came across a video, and I would have never came across it because I usually stay in my account. But I came across a video where this girl, she said something that didn't make sense, and I looked it up, and I was like, no, it doesn't make sense here. And then she turned it into something completely different you know and so all of that stuff, but if the dilemma is, taking the time to address all the bullshit, right? The employment bullshit I really need to address, but then always being human and being tired of dealing with bullshit, the other bullshit stays in the back of your mind, right? So you still feel like you are obligated to deal with that too. Now with yesterday, I needed to see what was going on, so I had to go out there. I had no choice. I had no choice. um I had no choice. I had to go out there. But that shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have let it happen. And I allowed myself to be docile with it, and I should not have. You know, the one thing that I saw was kind of okay. There was a young man that was working with him, and he may have been here once before, a long time ago. And the people were so disrespectful. I had my bed in the living room. They were stepping on my bed and shit. No, no motherfucker. But one thing he did say when I mentioned my pole trimmer, but it might have been because they're anticipating that perhaps they could take the pole trimmer, and then ooh, it's electric. But I mean, it's just I have to learn to respect my own boundaries, and I still am trained, by my upbringing through the church primarily, and by my mom's not really saying a bunch about it. My upbringing has been, try to see the good in other people. Oh, always think the best. Man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens, just like that girl I was telling you about that I worked with, she would say that somebody would say something to her that's off, but she didn't catch it the first time because she's not thinking that way. Her mind isn't thinking on somebody doing something mean or doing something bad or somebody doing something without her good intent in mind. Because every person that I communicate with, if I'm communicating with you, it's because I have good intent towards you. I don't have any negative intent towards you. I don't have any malicious side intent. I don't have any I don't have any of that. So I'm not thinking about myself in any way. I'm selflessly communicating with you because I'm trying to find out what it is that you like and you need so that I can make you happy. And so, and she was like, she'll catch on later. And that's how I am. I'll catch on later, you know? Um, yeah, yeah. And I'm just looking at a design, just happened to look at it for the first time because I've been working nonstop and not on this yesterday before I got interrupted. I've been working nonstop on that. And see, and things like this probably happen all day, every day, where there's people creeping, crawling, peeping through my shit. And the thing that pisses me off is that, there was some Mexican man, and my landlord said she never sent a Mexican man out here. Some Mexican man doing that. And what happens is when you have black folks that's peeping and crawling and doing shit like that, and I don't know about it, you make other people think it's okay. And it's not okay. And I'm tired. I'm really sick and tired of people. I'm tired of it. I'm tired and I want to address this too. When I say that I'm tired of people, because yesterday it got to the point where after I finished everything and I realized how late it was, and I didn't even have time to any time for myself at all yesterday. Not at all, none, not a moment. And the thing about it is that, there was a song that came on because I had music on while I was working on stuff outside. And it's a country song. And it says, always be humble, always be kind, or something like that, something like that. It's some country song. And I've heard it before. And I was like, okay, to help me decompress, I would like to smooth that song. But I didn't have time to smooth the song. I didn't have time to do shit. And the thing about it is, I'm really sick of people. And maybe that's why people are so assertive and so aggressive and so Machiavellianistic. They're always looking out for their own cause. And I remember being in a homeless shelter. This guy was telling me it's me versus you all the time. That's the way it's got to be. You always got to be that mindset, me versus you. So, and I remember even in my early 19, 20 years old, this young man was telling me, oh, you have to learn how to say fuck the world, fuck everybody. But I've never been like that. I've always wanted to encompass people and love people, you know. But the more and the more the reality hits, people are really do not care about you. They will look in your face and lie in your face. So I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off. But when I'm pissed, I can't say that I'm pissed at anybody, because I'm pissed at, I guess, me catching on at the last minute. So I have to look for those things in the minute. And I never did that before because I wasn't raised to be that way. But I need to start. I need to start changing. And I need to develop a fuck the world mentality. I don't never had that. I've always loved and wanted to be loved by people. But then the thought came to mind. I was like, briefly, I was like, I really hate people because I was so annoyed that I had been out there all fucking day long. You know what I'm saying? That shit pissed me the fuck off. And I wasn't even supposed to be out there. I was supposed to be taking this shit care of. Now I have one day to fucking take this shit, get this shit taken care of. And it's not just working through it like I was before. Now I'm working through it with all that other just background shit in my mind that I have to deal with on the sideline. You know, fuck these people. So I'm just, I'm pissed. My goal is that employment thing. That's where I'm focused and zoned in on. And everything else, fuck you, is what I gotta say for right now. Fuck you. Um, so I'm so pissed off. This could have been done yesterday. Yesterday, or at least very close to done, right? I'm so mad. I'm angry as fuck. I'm angry, you know. But again, I try to justify things because is it true that there's something that I didn't discuss that I didn't keep the bargain up on? Yeah, that is definitely true. But still, now you're gonna fuck it up so I get there slower. So fuck you. Fuck you. Um, I don't know. It's gotta be a change. I'm too nice, I'm too kind, I'm too naive. It's gotta be a change. I'm done with that. I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it. I'm done with it. I remember employers telling me, you don't have any cattiness to you. You don't have any round. I didn't have any reason to be catty or whatever. I never did, you know? And what I learned from Charleston White, he's talking about how he pretends like stuff is okay and it's a joke. I'm not pretending it's a joke and it's not okay. And because he said that, now I know that when I deal with black people, because I said I don't really deal with black people that much. I have black blood and black genes, some, but I don't know nothing about black people outside of what's on TV. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about black folks. You know, the way that I talk is taken from TV. It's not taken because I was raised that way. This is taken from TV, taken from TV and from being put in a homeless shelter. But so it just, I'm so sick of everybody. I'm so sick of everybody and everything. But because of Charleston White, now I know that that's how black people think. And I've had black people that had me confused tell me stuff straight up like that. Like they would tell me, I remember when I worked at this place, this girl was calling an ambulance because she had a mad migraine. I was like, what the fuck would you call? You're such an attention getter. I didn't say that to her. But she'd call an ambulance. Her dad was a lawyer. So because she had a migraine. And that's so that if she gets fired, that she's a protected disabled class, you know? Just dumb shit, dumb shit, dumb shit. And people know how stupid jobs are, and that's why they do dumb shit like that. I'm so done. I mean, the world is really there's a lot of, I love the natural, beautiful things in the world and the things inside of me, but the world is really a fucked up place. The fact that people have to resort to that kind of bullshit. And then I remember stories. Like I said, I don't know a lot about black people except what I see on TV. Even the way that I talk is gotten from, being court ordered. If I hadn't been court ordered to the homeless shelter, I wouldn't be talking like this. I spoke like this to fit in, and now it's here, and I can't be untaught because, like I said, I was disowned probably because I talk like this and I look a different way now. But I mean, it's just. But at this point, it's fuck you. My drive is to get this shit done, say what I got to say about it. And the other thing is that if I don't stay still, it's the other dilemma is if I don't stay still, then how can I grow, right? But the thing is that I'm so mad. And then I was listening as that man was talking, and he used to date the landlord, by the way. The man was talking to the person that he had working for him, and they were kind of barter on the price. And that might have just been show for me, so that I can hear what they say they're charging or whatever. But I mean, it's just, and it was ridiculous. The amount what he was charging was ridiculous. And I could have done that had I had my tooth thing fixed, but I didn't. So, and like I said, I always try to look at other people's side of the story. So the way that I felt yesterday was a genuine way to feel. And that's how I felt. But looking back on it, you know what I'm saying? There's other things to go with it. Now, is that developing a black mentality? Maybe, because every time I speak to a black person, it's always, there's always, thought of something underlying. But it's because black people know from their history, and I guess I could say are, but I wasn't raised. I mean, black people know from their history that people do fucked up shit all the time. And one thing Charleston White said that I appreciated, he was talking about, I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but I understand it. Okay. And at first it really took me back, and I was like, that's just him. But he was like, he don't fuck with black people. He fuck with niggas. And I would never call a black person an N-word because, I know what it came from. And the reason that he said that is because niggas don't, he said niggas don't kill each other, black people do. And basically what he's saying is the black person is the quote unquote evolved version of a nigger or nigga, however you want to say it. And that, back when everybody was niggas, they watched out for each other, right? Right? That's what he's saying. And it makes sense because back when you had slavery and people were actively being lynched, which they still are, black people stuck together. You don't see that shit, so much now. And I'm not going to degrade everything because I don't know everything. I don't know anything. I'll put that. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Honestly, God or whatever higher being there is, they're working the streams because some things just don't make sense, you know? And, I have to be honest, I did need to take a shower and God was letting me know, yo, and I still have, and I needed to take a shower when I got back in last night and I didn't. I did not because it was late. It was dark, you know? Um, and I need to take a shower now and I should just in case I have to come out and say my piece and I don't have to be embarrassed about the way that I look or anything else about me. But I'm so pissed off. I'm pissed about everything. And then there's a white girl that lives on the street and every time she's being nosy, she'll come out and walk her down. And I don't mind because there ain't nothing to see over here. But it's so stupid. And then and that's what made me say I hate people. Because all of that, you know what I'm saying? All of that, disrespecting my privacy, disrespecting my space, and I don't care, what it is to drop the ball on. And that's the thing about it. You talk about the law and legal and things like that, but I guess like good old country folks, they follow their own law, law and legal. I'm so done. And I guess, when you talk about rednecks, and I haven't, just like I haven't really don't know a whole lot about black people except what I see on TV and, just watching people passing and shit, because I don't have any direct interaction with any of those people. But then, rednecks, I don't have a direct interaction with rednecks either. It's just what I see on TV. Rednecks and this is what my dad, I had my dad for 10 years. He told me that, country white people and country black people are the same. And the rednecks, basically what it is, it may not necessarily all be racist. Some of it may be, but if you fuck with them, they're not calling the police. They're handling it on their own. It's basically what the deal is, and they'll suffer whatever the consequences are. But don't fuck with them. is basically what it boiled down to. And I can respect that, because I am personally being tired of being fucked with. Is that going to make me a lawless individual? No, because I still have those things deeply ingrained in me. And even yesterday, when I was talking to that man, and I was like, I have a pole trimmer, I would have got out there and I would have done that. But, the chain came off. And then there was a young man there, and this is what I did appreciate. There's good and bad in everybody. This is what I did appreciate about the young man, because then the older guy, the landlord's ex, what he said was, "Oh, well then why don't you put the chain back on then?" And the young man, he's probably in his 20s, and he's he's learning business from this older guy. He's telling him they're bartering the prices. And he says, "Ooh, I feel like I'm at an auction, whatever, whatever." And kudos to you, and I need somebody to take me under their wing, but I can't get that. But kudos to him, because obviously, he's being taken under the wing and he's learning, and I like that. But what he said, but I don't have that same. Even when I went through the legal system, because I was like, am I really doing something wrong? Like, let me, But it's not about that. It's about money, and it's about whatever. I remember I worked somewhere, and the lady said, "Well, I'm gonna be right. Doesn't matter what I say. I'm gonna be right," is what she said. And they gave me a big old severance, and it wasn't a big old severance when I look at it, because what you did was you fucked up my future and I didn't know that. So I'm tired of all this shit. I'm tired of all of it. And if I look back at all the fucking things that I've been through, I could really, if I was that type of person, I could really, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of everything. But then I had to think about it, when I started thinking about, I hate people, how this girl is coming out here to be nosy with the fucking dog twice, okay. And then when I think about how, really, and the young boy, he didn't catch it, but I caught it afterwards, that when that man said, "Oh, why don't you put the chain back on then?" What the young man said to him, he looked at him in the face. And and I think he innocently did this, even though these days people are so innocent. This is what I believe. I don't know shit. Okay, I don't know shit. But the young man said, "I think what she's trying to say is she don't know how to put the chain on." That wasn't exactly what I was trying to say, but it got the results that was needed, which is basically, I need some help with this, and if you could, yeah. And so the guy was nice enough, and I bought the thing out, and he did it. The chain will probably pop off again, but that was some kindness that the young man showed, because he was speaking up for me. Now in the end, they may go back in their personal conversations and be like, "Oh, she something something, she ain't gonna have it no more anyway." So I mean, it's just, I'm done with people. I'm so done with people. And it's like, I'm done. And it's so sad to me to come to this point where I really feel like I'm done with people, because I truly loved people. I love people. It's like, I always want to, be someone to help, and I always do. But, but, and then I had to look at myself. I always point the fingers back at me. If I say that, if anybody says that they hate people, I had to explore that further. Do I really hate people? Because, do I really, or is it the fact that I can't do anything for anyone? Because if you're in a position where that you are someone that does something for people, or helps people, or does something good for people, would you hate people? Because no, because you would have to love them, because you have something that you have, that you can make them better people, you know? So, I had to, like I said, I tell the truth about myself, and I have to look at myself that way too, because I don't want to be one of those people that's just, "Oh, it's the whole world." And it's not, I don't want to be that, because how, you have to have some form of accountability. You have to have, and that's part of control too. You have to, have an understanding of who you are and how you fit into the society. You know, are people perfect? Hell no. Do I see a lot of duality and dualism? Yes. And is it, and do those people know that they're being dualistic? Yes. Like I said, a lot of people, black people work on a concept, you don't let your right hand know what your left hand doing. I let everything know what everything doing, because I wanted to be full and whole. But I'm starting to see that, the world is really fucked up, and thinking back about it, am I just basing on that experience? No, because like I said yesterday, what I said yesterday was true. There was a portion where I dropped the ball, but still, I have to respect myself and my boundaries and things like that, you know. And if it comes to all out war, which I'm not confident. I don't know. I'm not a war type of person. I like to address what I have to address and keep it moving. You know, for some people that indicates an all-out war because they understand the mental effect that it has when you don't get your way. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not prepared for an all-out war. You know, I don't do wars. I do one hitter quitter, maybe two or three, and then I'm just like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Leave me alone, and I'll move on. You know, if I can't be left alone, and that's how the legal situation happened. They didn't want me to be able to be just, leave me alone and go. They wanted to get their talents in me, and they did. And they did. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to working on this. Fuck the world. There was a song, "Fuck the world." I say this, but again, I don't mean any harmful intent or anything like that. I say that meaning fuck the world, meaning stop thinking about them. Fuck them. What's important is you. Period. That's what I mean by that. So it's not, but people interpret things the way they want. But anyways, I'm out.